Before there were cities, before there were trees, before there were eyes to see or hearts to beat, there was the sea. And in the sea, life learned to replicate, to adapt, and to persist. Over billions of years, it unfolded into coral reefs and whales, dragonflies and redwoods, and humans who dreamed of stars. But through it all, one rule held true, written in the unbreakable language of thermodynamics and DNA. All things that live must, in time, die, except one. In the shadowed shallows of warm coastal waters off the shores of Italy, Japan, Florida, and Panama, a being no larger than a pinhead pulses through the dark. It has no brain, no bones, and no blood. It drifts with the currents, trailing tentacles like threads of memory. Its name is Turritopsis dohrnii, and it is the closest thing Earth has to a creature that refuses to accept the finality of time. This is not a myth. This is not a metaphor. This is biology. Strange, elegant, and revolutionary. Most animals are prisoners of linear time. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly, but never returns. A human child grows into an elder, but never shrinks back into youth. The arrow of life flies in one direction, forward, toward decay. This is called senescence, and it is the tax every complex organism pays for the privilege of existence. But Turritopsis dohrnii carries a secret key, a molecular override, hidden in its genome that allows it to turn the arrow around. When faced with starvation, injury, or the simple exhaustion that follows reproduction, this jellyfish does not succumb. Instead, it enacts a process so radical, so counterintuitive, that it was once thought biologically impossible. It reverts to childhood. Its bell, the delicate bell-shaped body that pulses through water, collapses. Its tentacles retract and dissolve. Its cells, once committed to specific roles, stinging, swimming, sensing, begin to forget what they were. Through a phenomenon known as transdifferentiation, these mature cells dedifferentiate into pluripotent stem-like cells, then reassemble into an entirely new organism. A polyp, the sessile, juvenile form that clings to rocks like a tiny sea anemone. From this polyp, a new colony grows. And from that colony, fresh medusae, adult jellyfish bud off, swim away, and begin the cycle anew. Genetically, they are the same individual. Biologically, they are reborn. This is not reincarnation. It is cellular resurrection. In laboratory settings, scientists have watched single specimens reverse their life cycle over a dozen times, not just surviving, but thriving. There is no observed limit, no accumulation of damage, no slowing of function. In principle, one Turritopsis dohrnii could have been cycling since the Cretaceous period, drifting through epochs while dinosaurs rose and fell, continents split, and humans lit their first fires. It is quite literally ageless. And yet here is the paradox. It is also utterly fragile. A hungry sardine, a sudden shift in salinity, or a parasite. Any of these can end its life in an instant. Its immortality is conditional, contingent, and humble. It does not seek eternity. It merely survives it. But its existence forces us to ask questions that ripple far beyond marine biology. If aging is not inevitable, what is it? If death is not written into life's code, where does it come from? And if a creature with no brain, no consciousness, and no will can reverse time at the cellular level, what might be possible for us? The implications are staggering. Researchers now comb the genome of Turritopsis dohrnii, for the regulatory switches that control its transformation. Genes like Mike, SOX, and won't familiar to cancer biologists and regenerative medicine scientists light up during its reversal. But unlike in cancer, where cellular reprogramming spirals into chaos, Turritopsis reprograms with perfect fidelity. No tumors, no errors, just orderly, elegant renewal. Could this hold clues for regrowing human hearts? For halting neurodegeneration? For one day, not extending lifespan, but compressing morbidity, living fully until the very end, then stepping aside cleanly, without decades of decline? Perhaps. But even if it never leads to a medical breakthrough, Turritopsis dohrnii remains a philosophical lightning rod. In a world obsessed with anti-aging creams, cryonics, and digital immortality, here is a creature that achieves true biological renewal not through technology, but through evolution's quiet genius. And it does so not as a conqueror of nature, but as its humblest student. Ironically, this near-immortal being has become a global traveler not by choice, but in the dark, churning tanks of cargo ships. Released in distant ports, it colonizes new waters, silent and unseen. It carries no malice, no ambition. It simply is. And in being, it endures. So the next time you stand on a beach and watch the tide roll in, carrying with it fragments of life, oxygen, and memory, consider this. Among the plankton, the larvae, and the unseen billions, there may float a creature that has witnessed centuries. A creature that, when broken, chooses not to die, but to begin again. In a universe where stars burn out and mountains erode, Turritopsis dohrnii is a whisper of defiance. Life, once sparked, does not always fade. Sometimes it rewinds, and in that rewind, we glimpse not just the mystery of one jellyfish, but the boundless strangeness, resilience, and potential of life itself. Turritopsis dohrnii does not live forever because it wants to. It lives forever because it can. And in that simple fact, it rewrites the oldest story ever told.